The Lancet Psychiatry released a study done by University of Zurich researchers in Switzerland, and they found that, quote, around 45,000 suicides each year are attributable to unemployment. Now, the study was incredibly exhaustive. It includes data from 63 economies between 2000 and 2011. They say, quote, the period spanned prosperity and stability as well as global financial blowup and its aftermath. During this period, around 233,000 suicides were recorded each year, of which about 45,000 could be attributed to unemployment. In 2008 and 2009, when the financial crisis hit hardest, the number of suicides rose by about 5,000. So they say that men and women of all age groups are equally at risk, and the risk of suicide is 20 to 30% higher during times of unemployment. Now, there's a book that's basically about this, and it's a few other things are sprinkled in the mix, or I should say a few other factors are sprinkled in the mix. The book's called Why Some Politicians Are More Dangerous Than Others. It's by the psychiatrist James Gilligan, and he studied the link in political parties and crime. And he found that it's a historical universal, that more conservative parties, when they're in power, that tends to link up with an increase in crime, depression, unemployment rising, and suicide. So, I mean, look, the conclusion is the elephant in the room that nobody wants to say, but everybody kind of understands when they go through the data. And you could say, hey, there's a causation-correlation problem there. And there may be some argument there, but, you know, if your policies lead to more unemployment and people are more depressed when they're unemployed and then that leads to suicide, I think it's kind of hard to stick to the causation-correlation thing because there appears to be direct connections between those things. So there you have it, man. 45,000 suicides each year attributable to unemployment. Now, think if that was from terrorism. I mean, how much would we flip the fuck out? I mean, in America, if there was that many and it was due to terrorism, we would repeal the Constitution, invade roughly every Muslim country on the planet, and we would cause way more trouble than we would fix, of course, because that's how we always react in times of disaster. We wind up making things worse. But when it's because of something like unemployment and it's a little bit more fuzzy and a little bit more cloudy and people don't think about it and people don't discuss it, then, you know, nobody bats a fucking eyelash, right? We were screaming about Ebola's gonna come and fuck my grandmother in her ass. And then what happened? There was, what, a grand total of 1 or 2 cases of Ebola in America, and that got nonstop, wall-to-wall coverage in the media. But here we have thousands of people dying because of unemployment because they commit suicide after they're depressed because they're unemployed, and fucking crickets. Nothing. It's like people don't want to... The things that are systemic issues are the most ignored. Like, systemic issues in real life affect us all the most, and they're really the biggest problem because we're all susceptible to unemployment and then depression and all these negative things. But that's never discussed. The media likes to focus more on the anomalies. Hey, this one bad thing happened in this one place at this one time, and oh, isn't it crazy? As opposed to saying, hey, by the way, our healthcare system is so fucked up that 45,000 people die every year because they don't have access to basic healthcare. That's not a story, but a murder in Harlem, they'll talk about that for an hour straight. But 45,000 people dying because we have a systemic issue with the healthcare system? Nope, don't discuss that. Or if you do talk about it, bring it up in passing. 45,000 people around the world because of unemployment dead. But do they say unemployment is a scourge? Unemployment. What about a war on unemployment? How about that? We could wage a war on terrorism. I mean, I guess we did wage a war on poverty once, but we quickly stopped doing it. The war on drugs, I like how that lasts forever. The war on drugs lasts forever. The war on terrorism apparently lasts forever. War on poverty, give it a year or two. But this is what we need. We need a war on unemployment. We need a new war on poverty. We need to care about the real systemic issues.